A new YouGov survey is suggesting that many Americans may not trust the media to accurately cover the Trump administration.
We're joined now on the KOA Common Spirit Health Hotline by marketing and branding expert Scott Baradell, also the author of Trust Signals, Brand Building in a Post-Truth World. Scott, very interested here to learn about what media sources were actually cited here in this study.
Well, this was a YouGov survey, which is a respected survey organization, and they were just asking about the trust in media generally. They weren't asking about specific sources. So different people are, depending on what you think of as a person who's being asked about the media, that's how you're going to respond. So only 29% said they have even a fair amount of trust in the media, and this is compared to 44% of the same respondents who said they have at least a fair amount of trust in Donald Trump's administration to state the facts. So you've got significantly more trust in the Trump administration's version of the facts than in the media, which should be set off some alarm bells for the media.
So a YouGov poll published last week shows 56% of Americans say they go to social media for news. And you had mentioned in a 2023 interview that most people in the United States actually say that they go to Google for news. Well, Google is not a news source, nor is social media. Should this be concerning for Americans in terms of where they are consuming their news?
Well, I think it speaks to the larger issue that people struggle with knowing who to trust today. And so they go towards their kind of, oh, I'm conservative, I'm liberal, I'm going to go in this direction. But that's interesting. It's actually been a survey of 30,000 people that this big PR firm called Edelman does every year. It's called a Trust Barometer. And they ask people, what's your most trusted news source? And you're right, Google News is not a news source. They aggregate from other sources. But it's interesting that over all the other news sources out there, Washington Post, New York Times, Fox, whatever, Google News came up first. What does that mean? It means that they trust how Google is going to sort the news and what they're going to put on top, in the same way that they trust Google when they search for plumbers near me, that it's going to give them the best choice as the top result. That's what it's come down to.
Scott, you're a former journalist yourself. What's one thing do you feel like the media is doing right? And what one thing do you think outlets should continue to work on?
Well, I think, one thing the media is doing right is I like that the media is, look, they've always said that I think it's Minkin who said that the job of the media is to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. And I think there's a lot of media that's not afraid to be provocative. But I think, and that's good. But I think what's bad is the way they've done it. They've lost a lot of credibility along the way. Like, for example, one of the big reasons you've had this shift in more people not trusting the media since 2016, when Trump ran for president, is that the media went guns blazing, calling him a liar, calling him a racist, using these terms that just weren't thrown around in traditional media. You said things like a misstatement or a statement that could not be verified. You didn't just say this person's a liar. That suggests intent, and I think when that happened, there's been a lot of moderate people that had trusted the mainstream media that have realized, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't be so quick to trust them.
Scott, your work focuses on how companies can build trust with their clients and consumers and really expanding their base through search engine optimization and other things. How does that relate to media outlets in terms of building trust with listeners and the people that consume their content?
Well, unfortunately, we're in a world now where it's dominated by the internet, and that includes AI, ChatGPT now, which is, those results when you search ChatGPT, largely driven by what appears in Google and in search engines. And you've got to optimize for the technology maybe more than need to optimize for truth, unfortunately.
He's the author of Trust Signals, Brand Building in a Post-Truth World. It's Scott Baradell. Scott, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.